I'll get it. This is Dave. First of all, thank you to the Thomas P. Sweeney Post 142 American Legion for inviting me to speak at this ceremony. Given the men and women who are honored on Memorial Day, I am not worthy of this honor, but I will humbly try to make my remarks appropriate. Last Friday, we held a Memorial Day assembly at Oakmont. Veterans from our community representing each branch of the military and the Peace Corps were present. The pinnacle of the ceremony was the presentation of 4 plaques by Steve Fenner in Post 142 to the school memorializing the 4 Oakmont students who made the ultimate sacrifice in Vietnam. William John Bresnahan Jr. He was killed in action on May 26, 1967. He was 19 years old. Michael J. Waterman, killed in action June 22, 1967. He was 20 years old. Thomas Paul Sweeney, killed in action March 31, 1968. He was 19 years old. And Francis Arthur Bond, killed in action June 19, 1970. He was 21. As the plaques were presented, 300 students in the auditorium sat quietly. Our assistant principal and National Guard General Greg Smith read who they served with, where they served, where they were killed, and where their name is on the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington. As he read the information to our students, I could not help but think that nearly 40 years ago, those 4 young men sat in the same auditorium. Some of our veteran guests reminisced about the times they played together in the woods and in the fields of Ashburnham and Westminster, playing hide and seek, baseball, and other boyhood games around our towns with those boys. They were just like the students sitting in that audience. But when called by their country, they served, they trained, they fought, and they died. The courage those 4 young men demonstrated is incomprehensible to many of us. Only their fellow veterans can relate to their bravery and their fears. Although we may not understand, we must, as Americans, respect and show appreciation for their bravery, for their sacrifice. A soldier will be the first to tell you that war and violent resolution should be the last resort. But when necessary, we must act. William, Michael, Thomas, and Francis acted for us, sacrificed for our way of life. On behalf of my generation of Americans, and with your permission, our community, I want to thank them and their families. I also want to thank all the men and women who have served and currently serve, and thank their families for their noble service to us and our country. The United States is a great country, a beacon of freedom. It is that because of our servicemen and women, our veterans, and especially the men and women we honor today, Memorial Day 2012.